Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
Opening Drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
It's one of the biggest regular season NFL games we're going to see in quite some time. And they're not even playing this weekend. But all the talk has been about the Cowboys versus the Eagles. The players are talking about it. They're trying to deflect. They're trying to say the right thing. That bulletin board is going to be full come next weekend. It's not even here yet. They don't play this weekend. But the focus is on the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the Philadelphia Eagles, the 12-1 Philadelphia Eagles atop the NFC, because they're talking about each other. And the question is, are you overlooking who you got this weekend? You got to handle your business this weekend to set up that marquee game next weekend, Christmas weekend, going at it, NFC East foes, and Dallas still trying to keep enough pressure on Philadelphia to maybe catch the Eagles. It's going to be a fantastic game, but the players, they're doing a lot of talking this week. What it do, everyone? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, joined by our quarterback, Ned James. Bob holding it down with us this morning. As we roll on bowl week, teams are on the ground. SMU, BYU got into town yesterday. They're getting ready for the New Mexico Bowl Saturday night, prime time, ABC, Channel 7. 5:30 kickoff. Should be an exceptional game. We'll talk with one of the standout defenders for SMU, their fifth-year linebacker, Jimmy Phillips. He's going to join us at 7:30 this morning, the team's leading tackler, about getting ready for this game. And it's been 5 years at SMU as he looks ahead to his final game as a Mustang and what the future holds. But Ned, already looking ahead, the Cowboys and the Eagles. So it started with Micah Parsons. He was on Von Miller's podcast. No, Von Miller, unfortunately, has a little extra time right now that he suffered that ACL injury, so he's done for the season. But Von Miller asked Micah Parsons, the Dallas edge rusher, and what he thought of Jalen Hurts. Is he the MVP? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it the team? And Micah Parsons said, quote, when you look at the Eagles, Miller's question was, when you look at the Eagles, is it Hurts or the team? Parsons responded, quote, I think it's a little bit of both, man. It's system and the team. That's not as hard-hitting as people are making it out to be. They feel like that's a shot at Jalen Hurts, because when we talk about system quarterbacks, it's like a negative in the conversations that we have. I think it's true when you look at the Eagles' talent, that's a really talented roster. I think Jalen Hurts, the quarterback, has taken huge steps forward this season. But that just shows you that these dudes are already thinking about each other, and they're going to take every little thing to take a shot at their rival. And we'll work on getting, Ned, your microphone going this morning. But this is one, too, and then...
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. No, it's just unfortunate that people really don't listen to what players are trying to say, because I think players want to have a voice. But I don't think Micah Parsons was really taking any kind of a shot at Jalen Hurts. I just think that he really wanted to be able to just express himself as a top-tier defensive player in the NFL. And sometimes, some things are better left unsaid. Just, I think with all the podcasts from the players, it's just, the players get comfortable with the other players, and they think that, hey, we're just buddies talking on the couch. And unfortunately, it gets out to the masses. And as a result, it's bulletin board material. But some of that stuff is good because it makes the games competitive. And but I think Micah Parsons was just trying to be comfortable with Von Miller being the big brother on the couch. And I think it may have gotten a little bit misconstrued, but I think he really means well, and I don't think he really thinks he wants to poke that bear that's 12-1. At the same time, he did want to just kind of stay neutral and not let his teammates or his friends think that he was somewhat afraid of the Philadelphia Eagles at 12-1.
No, definitely not afraid. And I think that comment there from Michael Parsons is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to maximize talent within a system. And I think Nick Sirianni has done a great job of finding the identity of this Philadelphia Eagles team. It's utilizing the run game. They have a very good offensive line. Miles Sanders is having a very good season at running back. Jalen Hurts has learned when to run. They've learned how to use the run game with Jalen Hurts very efficiently. And I think he's a much better passer than this season than people realize. Like, I was not bullish on Jalen Hurts coming in. I was all in on Jalen Hurts. I feel that Philadelphia, even when they lost in that playoff game, like, they have their quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and you're seeing that this season. And it just shows you how important this game is going to be, that the little things are magnified to that extent. And I'm right there with you. Players having a voice talking about it. And I think Micah Parsons didn't say something that was ridiculously crazy, but it's everyone is so hungry for this matchup. You're talking about a potential MVP candidate, maybe the leader right now, the NFL MVP in Jalen Hurts, someone that people are already pointing at could be the best defensive player in the game in Micah Parsons. So anything they say, they're going to be going back and forth. But one of the offensive linemen for Jalen Hurts, Jordan Mailata, he said, quote, "I'm going to worry about the Chicago Bears this week, mate. Worry about this game. Micah should worry about his game this week, too. I don't know who the bleep they're playing, pardon my language. Just worry about who you got this week." And that's the key for both these teams.
Yeah.
This is a hype matchup, division matchup, NFC East, the 10-win Cowboys, the 12-win Eagles going into this weekend. And for Dallas, they have a Jekyll and Hyde Jacksonville team. They'll be on the road. You don't know what Trevor Lawrence they're going to get. And it should be an easy game for Philadelphia with what they've seen against the Chicago Bears, but it's a week-to-week league, Ned.
Yes, it is. And anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. It's hard to win games in the NFL. Unfortunately, sometimes guys get a little bit distracted by, media and a lot of other external things that are not really involved in the game. And in this case, I think Micah got a little caught up, maybe putting the cart before the horse a little bit. They don't have Philadelphia this week. And I think the lineman was right in that, he's got to worry about, Chicago and Micah's got to worry about Jacksonville. I mean, it's like you said, a week-to-week league. The playoffs are coming. Winter is here. Bodies are nicked up. Guys are going to start getting rested a little bit once they start getting seeded in the playoffs. And so they're fresh and ready to go when the playoffs start. There's players that are jockeying for, like we're going to talk about a little bit later, free agency. Particularly with teams that are losing, that are not going to be in the playoffs, they don't think guys will start shutting it down a little bit, so you don't get the A efforts you think you're going to get, especially because guys don't want to go into free agency injured or with some kind of mark on them. And clubs sometimes retaliate against players late in the year with cutting guys if they believe that certain guys not playing up to their standards, and they believe that, hey, this is not a guy that wants to accept the contract that maybe we offered him that we thought was fair. They'll just flat out release a guy with 2 games left or 3 games left and let another club pick him up. Sometimes playoff teams pick him up. Sometimes teams that aren't playoff teams pick him up just to have him on their roster. So, with salary cap issues. So it'll be interesting to see how these last couple weeks go, especially with guys starting to get a little nicked up and resting and those kind of things going on.
And both these teams, the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, they are built for the playoffs. What you like to talk about, Ned, the run game, both these teams lean on their run game. The Cowboys, I've liked what they've done with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard this season. Both of them are playmakers. Tony Pollard's been really dynamic in the passing game. The big question, of course, is Dak Prescott. And what have you seen out of Dak Prescott this season? Had a rough game against Houston. It happens. You're going to have games like that. It was the Houston Texans Super Bowl. And is this matchup, I know we talk about the run game, the defense between these two teams, is it going to come down to Jalen Hurts versus Dak Prescott?
I don't think so. I think Ezekiel Elliott has proven that he was well worth the contract. Being available is the best ability. Availability is the best ability. He's been there. He's consistent. He runs in between the tackles. He's physical. I know everybody loves this Tony Pollard, and I think he's been playing wonderful. But you've got to have a 1-2 punch. You've got to have somebody that can go up inside in between the tackles that's heavy and strong and can take and withstand lickings, which are going to happen during this season. And I think Ezekiel, more than Dak, I think he's kept Dak pretty steady with this run game that Dallas has. And now they're getting Tyron Smith back. So it should be interesting to see how they play down the stretch. How they start resting guys, how they start, preparing for the playoffs. They're probably going to have to go on the road. But at the same time, they're going to still be a formidable opponent. And Micah Parsons is a big part of that. But also Dak Prescott, you've got to start winning some playoff games to be considered one of these top-tier quarterbacks. Forget about the money. Forget about how much you got paid. People get caught up in that sometimes. But you got to start putting up some numbers, and you got to start winning some games in the playoffs. He's won a playoff game. He's got to start stacking them up a little bit.
Got to go on a run. It's 2 weeks away, but it's still the talk of the NFL. The Eagles and Cowboys. Philadelphia at 9-point favorites at Chicago this week. Dallas just 4-point favorites at Jacksonville. Thursday Night Football tonight. Seattle and San Francisco. A huge game for the Seahawks as they try to keep pace in that NFC wildcard race. Brock Purdy, short week, got a little banged up last time out. How does everyone's favorite quarterback all of a sudden, Mr. Relevant, look tonight? We got you covered breaking that down this morning. 505-246-0610 is the 377 Brewery hotline. Don't forget, all on autographs. Got 2 more chances. Some great prizes for you to win this morning, the mystery box and the $25 gift certificate. When we come back on the other side, St. Mary's wrapped up their series against the state of New Mexico. Which, remember, the Lobos won at St. Mary's a week ago now. Last night, New Mexico State played at St. Mary's. How did the Aggies do? How did St. Mary's do against the state of New Mexico? And what does that set up? Of course, this weekend, we're talking about Lobo basketball. Richard Pitino versus Rick Pitino, but it's going to be about the players. It is the opening drive. JJ Buck and Ned James with you here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings.
Following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sports Animal.
I don't know the last time the Lobos had two Gales on their schedule. The St. Mary's Gales, Iona Gales are in town on Sunday. Of course, all the focus is on Richard Pitino versus Rick Pitino, father versus son. This is going to be a pretty good basketball team. Rick Pitino has Iona playing good basketball. The Lobos coming in 10-0. But the other Gales, the St. Mary's Gales, wrapped up their series versus the state of New Mexico last night as St. Mary's beat New Mexico State 81-68. So St. Mary's, they were 9.5-point favorites versus the Lobos. New Mexico won that game 69-66. New Mexico State, 13.5-point underdog. St. Mary's, 13. So it's right there on the number. Vegas does it again. But St. Mary's was +9 from the three-point line. They were 13-31. Really efficient from three. We're in control of that game most of the night over New Mexico State. And right now, the Aggies, it's kind of a two-man team when it comes to DeShondre Washington and Xavier Pinson and everything that's still swirling around this squad. They got beat by a good basketball team. The Lobos, St. Mary's, if you watched that game, you saw how good St. Mary's was. This was a tough one for New Mexico State. Now the Aggies on the season, they're 5-4. They're going to blow the doors off Northern New Mexico coming up. That's their next game. Then they have the Don Haskins Invitational. And so New Mexico State, the men, they didn't play this season. And so what can you do is you can look at some of the common opponents to try to figure it out. St. Mary's handled New Mexico State. The Lobos won on the road. But anytime you're talking about the Aggies, it's just figuring a way to keep that team moving forward.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate this year. We've got to move away from the comparisons, I think, in all regards. I mean, I think, what's going on down there is really unfortunate. I think football, I'm proud of our little brothers to the south getting a bowl bid. They kind of backed their way in there, but that's okay. You gotta take your hat off to them. They did a great job. I think Jerry Kill did a great job. I just think, unfortunately, this is a year that Aggie basketball really should not get the attention. At least I don't believe they should. I mean, I really believe the states kind of failed, the government's kind of failed us with that staff, and everybody still being able to just go out like nothing happened, despite all the issues that they've had regarding the murder of a fellow student here at UNM. I think their participation in that. I just think it's egregious from us adults who are responsible for these young people. I think the Aggie basketball team is the least of the issues that are going on down there, and they get to play a basketball game. It's a privilege to play, and I think they gave up that privilege with some of the actions, and I think the adults in the room, the presidents, the governors, the state legislators haven't stepped in and done their part as far as protecting young people, and as much as them not holding those participants accountable from that staff, for them to be out playing a basketball game, I just thought it was just egregious that they were even able to do this. So that's just my opinion.
Well, it's a waste on a lot of people because you look at that situation. The word you just used is you said it. It's murder, but it's an alleged self-defense for Mike Peake. So you got to be careful too when we're saying things because it's still ignited and that's still weighing on the fans that have been going back and forth. But it's the reality of the situation you have to deal with when we talk about New Mexico State basketball. Right now, yeah, they played a game last night, but this dark cloud is going to hang over their team all season long. Because I think that there was missteps early on. I think the players that participated in helping their teammate Mike Peake should have been suspended more games. I think there's probably should have been a game that Greg Heyer had to sit down because you, as a head coach, you can't say I don't know that many times about your team. But it was right there for New Mexico State to make this less messy and get out of this with the investigation that was going on. Do your part. Right. They didn't. And the fact that it was so messy is why everyone is still going to have questions going forward as this investigation continues.
Yeah, it's not Greg Heyer's fault. I mean, Greg Heyer has to answer to people, and there's a lot of people that he had to answer to that dropped the ball on this. And it's not the fact that he should have suspended himself. It's not the fact that, there should have been some time to reflect for that whole organization and not just play, that 3 days later. It's just unfortunate. But at the same time, I know they had to go down and play St. Mary's in the basketball game, tough basketball game. I know their kids, several of them probably had nothing to do with this whole incident. But at the same time, we as the adults in the room have to take some accountability and some responsibility. And I think we failed the kids in this one. I mean, the people send their kids to the university and expect, the adults to be responsible and take action and protect them. And in this case, I think we're showing that sports and entertainment is more important than a lot of other things that we should hold true to morally and ethically. And I don't think that we did that in this case. And I think we've dropped the ball. And I feel personally, as an adult in that environment, responsible for not, maybe putting my voice out there enough to let them know that and people around town and in the state have not lent their voice enough to these people that are responsible to, have a higher standard. Just that's all I ask for. Just to have some morals.
It's across the board because that was 4 UNM students involved in this, and so you're sitting there on campus, just wondering, this kid was stewing on it for how long, and then just getting together and setting that up. It's just everything is so gut wrenching, so bad about this story. And you're on campus a lot, Ned. You work there. You work with students, not just the student athletes, but students on campus. So I know that happening, what you're saying is right. It hurts you because you care about students, and to see something like that happen on campus, it's just terrible.
Absolutely. It was just awful. It's just terrible. And, I tease and say our little brothers to the South all the time with New Mexico State, but I care about their guys down there. I care about the state sports in New Mexico and how it affects young people, high school, middle school, elementary school kids that are looking up to these guys. And I just think the adults failed the entire state. It failed us on all levels. And I know people care about the money and people mention the financials and all that. I really don't care about that in this instance. We should, as people in authority and people in power, we should have made a stronger stance and a stronger statement with this incident, regardless of fault. I mean, we don't know whose fault. That'll be determined, with the courts. People are saying, hey, I saw the video, this is that. And, you don't know exactly what led up to these circumstances, so no one knows exactly why these events happened. We saw what led up to them, but at the same time, there was a whole entire team involved, and there's curfews, and there's adults that are responsible for these curfews. There's people that knew guys were out, and they weren't held responsible, and those kind of things. So it's just one of those unfortunate incidents that we keep saying it's unfortunate, but at the same time, everyone's covering for everyone. No one's holding themselves accountable, and I think at this time we should all reflect and be accountable and show some responsibility and show some gravitas and do the right thing. And in this case, I still think that there needs to be some stuff done that's not being done, and we need to press those issues. So that's how I look at it, and I understand they've got to play basketball games. I know we're here to talk about sports, but at the same time, we have to go
it's a sports story.
Responsibility. Yeah,
it is a sports story in all of this, because what we talk about with athletics, and especially college athletics, even when it's big business, this college athletics is, it's changed. It is a year-to-year sport. Right. These players are essentially hitting free agency in the offseason, trying to get NIL deals. It's big business, but there's still an aspect of it where when you're looking at the university experience, we talk so much about learning, accountability, holding players to a certain standard. Same way we do at times with professional athletes that make mistakes. So, this is a sports story because, yes, it involved athletes, but it's a big picture story between these two universities. And you're right. There was a basketball game last night. Aggies lost at St. Mary's. Yeah. But that's always going to be a talking point this season with what we saw swirling around that program. 505-246-0610 is a 377 Brewery hotline. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk with the leading tackler of the SMU Mustangs. They are in town. Teams are on the ground. Practice is underway in Albuquerque for the New Mexico Bowl, Saturday night, 5:30, SMU BYU. Jimmy Phillips Jr., the leading tackler for SMU, joins us next. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message is brought to you by Blake's Lottaburger.
The famous Biscochito milkshake is back at Blake's Lottaburger. Enjoy the delicious taste of freshly made Biscochitos blended with...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
Cougars, SMU in town. They landed yesterday, as did BYU. They're having fun. The gift suites, the players going through some stuff. Jeff Symbieta and company does a fantastic job. But the focus is playing a football game, trying to get that bowl victory on Saturday night. JJ Buck, our quarterback, Ned James with you. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. He's a fifth-year linebacker, led the team with 76 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 5 pass breakups. He's from Mesquite, Texas, now going out as an SMU Mustang playing in a bowl game. Jimmy Phillips Jr. joining us on the opening drive. Jimmy, good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. What does this opportunity mean to you? You guys have been bowl eligible, but SMU hasn't won a bowl game since 2020. What would it mean for you and this team to finally break that streak and be victorious on Saturday?
I'll say first, and we're excited to be able to play this game. We've been bowl eligible in the previous years, but due to COVID, a lot of games have been played. So we're excited to get that W by our name and rewrite history for this program.
And look at you going into your 5th season, the opportunity to play one more year. We see it, and players taking their chances, entering the portal, going other places. What kept you at SMU this season and made you want to finish it out as a Mustang?
A lot of things kept me here. My family, mainly my family and my teammates, and just I wanted to finish what I started at SMU. You said I've been for 5 years, and it's just the opportunity was there. And it was like, why not just leave what I built?
And how did a kid from Mesquite, Texas, SMU, get you the offer How big is it to be able to play close to home? Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas, and have the impact that you're having at SMU?
When I first got the offer and I once I committed, I really didn't really understand how big the impact was until I graduated and I got to SMU, and I felt all the love, all the support from Mesquite and just everyone in the area. And I just thought it was really important for me and just my family because they're there every week and I can put my whenever I want to. And it's just like, I used to go 20 minutes in the Mesquite. So I say it's been a blessing.
What are your plans? This is Ned James. What are your plans after this bowl game? Do you plan on just going into work, or are you going in to try to continue playing football? What are your plans after this bowl game?
To continue playing football, chase my dreams.
And that's what you're planning on doing is going and playing in the NFL or trying to get into the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Well, good. That's great. And also, being from the Dallas area, I know that area pretty well, being there. Just tell me a little bit about the SMU fan base. Are you guys going to travel pretty well, you think? Do you think there's a strong support? I know you guys were the only school in history to have the death penalty. I have some friends that went to SMU during that time. One of the greatest running backs in the history of the NFL, Eric Dickerson, went to SMU. Tell us a little bit about, just the fan base and just the history and tradition of SMU football.
Man, well, the SMU tradition of fan sport, it goes deep. And once you said the definitely put a little shot over it. But now we're finally get that vibe that everyone comes to the games. So I expect to see a lot of SMU people in the stands, and it's just exciting, to share this moment with them, and just to, again, try to get away from that definitely shadow.
Jimmy Phillips Jr., SMU linebacker, joining us. SMU BYU, the New Mexico Bowl Saturday night out there at University Stadium. You guys won 4 of your last 5 games. What really started to come together late in this season for this football team?
The past previous season, we haven't been able to finish, especially finish in November. And we had a losing record in November. So that was a highlight point, is finishing November. And we was able to do that.
Now, Jimmy, you look at that Houston game, and it's got to be just one of the most wild experiences you've ever been in as a player. I'm just assuming that because it's one of the craziest games we watched all college football season. You guys beat Houston 77-63. As a linebacker, as a defensive player in that game, what was that experience like?
I would say it was kind of embarrassing. Just that team, they put up 63 points on us. It was just embarrassing, but it was just kind of who can get a stop first, and we had to make multiple stops, and we was able to do that, and we came out victorious. So I'm glad we was on the same side instead of 63.
Hey, Jimmy, tell me a little bit about this up-tempo stuff. I mean, you're going to face a BYU team coming in here, and they're a highly productive offensive team too. But the one thing I want to just kind of hear you emphasize is tell me, how do you handle that up-tempo and the speed of the game nowadays with people no huddling and the fast pace and all those things? What do you feel you're most responsible for when the game is just sped up so fast and helping your defense out?
The best thing to do is just getting lined up. It's just not panicking. I feel like our offense was the best, and we've seen it every single day from fall camp. It's just go, 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 go. So I feel like we have the advantage to most defenses, but it's just trying to get lined up and just recognize the formations, because when we go fast, they're not about to do nothing crazy. You feel me? So you just got to get lined up and just react.
Joined by a couple more minutes with Jimmy Phillips Jr., linebacker, leading tackler for the SMU Mustangs. They're in town to play BYU Saturday night at University Stadium. Primetime football, 5:30 on ABC. Now, Jimmy, looking for you and going down the list of everything you've done in your career, I saw that you were the winner of a Make a Difference Challenge Award. It's awarded through Cowboys U and Jason Garrett Starfish Charities. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you came to win that?
Yeah, the Cowboys had a 7-on-7 camp going on, and about the pitches I did, what we've been doing was on Wednesdays we'll go to elementary schools around Poteet High School, and all the players will go and be assigned to a classroom. And throughout the season, we'll go read to them, spend about an hour or hour and a half with them. And it was just, you can see the change because of how they interact with you. And a lot of schools, a lot of teachers, a lot of students love it a lot.
So you were doing that in high school? Was
Yes, sir.
So how did that kind of shape you? What did that mean to you to have that experience as a high school player, reaching out, being with those little kids? Was that easy for you, or did you learn a lot through that process?
I'll say it was easy, but I also learned a lot. It became normal to me. We did a lot of things at Muncie High School, give it back, just being in the community. So I'll say it was just easy, but also we learned that we were taught that it's the right thing to do is give back. We're blessed and we have a lot of things to give back. And a lot of people look up to us in the community. So it was just something that I learned.
Go ahead, Ned.
Yeah, I just think that's great. I mean, I think, a lot of high schools now are having these young men and these young student athletes and even students volunteer and serve. And I think that's just wonderful. And you've been able to benefit both morally and ethically as a man, as a human being, by giving to these young people who are really do look up to you, student athletes. I remember my aunt would make me come back when I was in college and speak to her middle school students in Compton, California. And she says, hey, these kids need to see you. They need to see your voice and hear your voice. And I think that's just wonderful that you were able to participate and just keep up that kind of work, because it's important to young people to hear a voice of someone as successful as you've been.
Well, Jimmy,
appreciate that.
Absolutely. And we appreciate your time this morning. You guys up early getting ready for the bowl game. Best of luck. Hopefully y'all enjoying Albuquerque. It's a bit cold for y'all this morning, but
thank you.
But super excited to watch you guys, SMU, BYU, man. Best of luck, and thanks for the time.
Yes, I appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you for this.
Jimmy Phillips Jr., Dallas kid, just outside of Dallas, Mesquite, Texas, fifth-year linebacker for the SMU Mustangs. And that's pretty cool stuff right there at the end. You learn high school kids giving back. And you're right, we're seeing that a lot more because everyone understands how important that is and how much that matters to be able to give back and help the youth, help the kids.
Yeah.
Man, help the kids.
And young people really do appreciate it. I mean, you don't think they do, but they remember. And he doesn't know this yet, but Jimmy's left an indelible print on the brains of a lot of young people who look up to him now. They're probably following him at SMU, and so it's just one of those things. One of the lessons I was taught early. When you give back, much is received by you as well. So that's really a good testament to. I think that's probably why he's such a great player.
Appreciate Jimmy Phillips Jr. joining us, leading tackle for the SMU Mustangs New Mexico Bowl. BYU SMU Saturday night 5:30 at University Stadium. We all were in awe of that game, but he told you it was a bit embarrassing being on the defensive end of that 77-63 game. They were victorious over Houston, but that was wild.
I've been in a game like that coaching defense, and the speed. That's why I asked him about the speed and the pace of the game. It's just one of those things where you're just trying to get lined up and just trying to get one stop. And he, like he said, he had one or two stops. That was funny when he said, I heard him say he got one or two stops, but when they're scoring 63, you ain't stopping them very much. And it's just one of those things that every now and then, you may have a 12-3 game where you feel good about yourself as a defense, but then you get those track meets, and it was just good to hear that he was able to, get something positive out of it with one or two stops.
505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline and the text line this morning. Speaking of local kids and giving back, there was a former La Cueva Bear, a former Lobo that now has a huge opportunity, but it comes in one of the hardest times. And a former Lobo is now a head coach in the SEC. We'll tell you about that next. It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores.
the
Staples
ones
has
who
you
go
covered
before
for
all
all your
others.
custom printing just in time for the holidays. And right now at Staples,
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Still grieving the loss of their head coach, Mike Leach, passed away earlier this week. Suffered a heart attack on Sunday. And number 24 Mississippi State is still planning to play their bowl game. They played January 1st, the Riley Quest Bowl against Illinois. And yesterday, they made an announcement on who their next head coach is going to be. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. J.J. Buck, our quarterback, Ned James, with you this morning as Mississippi State elevated their defensive coordinator, Zach Arnett, to head coach. The 36-year-old former La Cueva Bear, former New Mexico Lobo, is working to finalize a 4-year contract. Sources told the Associated Press on Wednesday, first reported by ESPN. And Arnett played linebacker for the Lobos from 2005, 2008, played under Rocky Long. Current Lobos coach Danny Gonzalez was a coach with him at San Diego State when Zach Arnett was working his way up the ladder there. And yesterday, Danny did put out a statement saying, quote, "I'm really proud of Zach. He's done a great job building one of the top defenses in the SEC. He did an amazing job handling an unimaginable situation. This is well-deserved, and the Bulldog family is in great hands." And this is one that emotionally you still got to be wrecked. Because if you're Zach Arnett, you're sitting there, you just lost your head coach. He was on his way to Syracuse. Mike Leach got him to go to Mississippi State. Mike Leach brought Zach Arnett to Mississippi State to be the defensive coordinator, and now you're the head coach, but you're the head coach because your head coach passed away. This has just got to be a whirlwind of emotions for this football team, especially Zach Arnett right now.
Yeah, I mean, it must be, kind of, he's got mixed feelings, I'm sure, about taking the job, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity. The young man from Albuquerque and La Cueva High School, just a tremendous opportunity for him under the circumstances. I mean, I could understand, people thinking that, hey, maybe it's a little bit too much too soon, but at the same time, it gives stability to the program. It gives stability, more importantly, to those young people who are probably hurting from seeing someone that they probably all admired pass away. I think, as a young coach in the SEC, I mean, it's just a tremendous opportunity for him and his family. I'm sure he's elated to have this opportunity. At the same time, it's probably a little scary for him as well, because now you become the head coach of everything, not just the defense. You're the head coach of the offense, special teams. You're the CEO. You got NIL deals. You got to figure out who's getting what, all those kind of things that happen in the SEC. But at the same time, they won 8 games. So, they've got a foundation there, and I'm sure that they want to keep that foundation. And the culture, I'm sure he understands, exactly what they need and what they want. He's going to have to start using some sort of Southern drawl when he starts communicating a little bit, just so people feel comfortable with him down in Mississippi.
Oh, you don't need to pull Brian Kelly in the fame.
Mississippi. He's got to learn how to say Mississippi. He can't say just Mississippi. He's got to say Mississippi.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S.
Yeah. He's going to have to learn quickly, corn pudding and things like that, bread pudding and chicken fried steak and some of those kind of things.
I'm sure he's learned some of that stuff already.
Yeah. I'm sure he's pretty much aware of how things operate down in Mississippi. So, and there's tremendous football talent in that area down in Mississippi. Everybody comes through there. Per capita, I think the state of Mississippi has more NFL players than any other state in the country. But it's tough living in, some of those rural parts in the Delta are just really, really rough. And so he's going to have to, kind of figure out a way to, a kid from La Cueva in Albuquerque,
Starkville, Mississippi.
In Stark Vegas, Mississippi, he's going to have to, adjust a little bit. But I mean, he's been there a couple of years now, so I'm sure he's going to be, he's figured out his way around. But now he's got to deal with boosters and a lot of people that he probably didn't have to deal with before. And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And he's young, and I mean, he's going to be resilient. He's going to be tough. He's going to take his lumps, but I mean, he'll bounce back because he's just now learning and developing, and I think it's a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, he got there in 2020, take over the defensive coordinator position at Mississippi State. Now Zach Arnett, La Cueva, and UNM alum, the head coach at Mississippi State. Some Mountain West news: Barry Odom, the new coach at UNLV. They move on from Marcus Arroyo. I want to get your thoughts on that too. We'll talk some more Mountain West football this morning. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Coming up next, Rick Pitino doing a lot of talking this week. What would happen if he were to lose to his son Sunday at the Pit? Lobos, Iona. Will it be a friendly post-game handshake line? I'll tell you what Rick Pitino said about this game coming up on Sunday. It's JJ Buck with Ned James. Bob, I'm holding it down here on The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Where have you been? 7 a.m., where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Iona, the Gales, 7-2 on the season. Coming off a 70-64 win over Princeton the other night. Up next, a trip to the pit. It's Lobos, it's Iona, it's Rick versus Richard Pitino. Sunday, 4:30, and they're already putting out the stories. Get there early, folks. There's a little extra screening out. There's metal detectors at the pit. You got to get through them. It's like going to an Isotopes game. Got to spend your time getting into the building. Be prepared. They're going to open the doors on Sunday 90 minutes before tip-off. They're talking about some ways maybe to incentivize getting you into the game. I told you, what you do is you get there early, you got your phone, you can watch the NFL Red Zone all the way up until tip-off at 4:30.
There you go.
Enjoy it, eat some popcorn, and be ready for it. It's going to be one of the best atmospheres we've seen in a long time at the pit. Lobos, Gales, Rick versus Richard. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, our quarterback, Ned James in La La Land, joining us this morning. We'll talk about UCLA and what's going on. Big
UCLA.
Hoops team.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty
Moving
good.
to the Big Ten. It's finally official. We'll get into that, too, when Jerry Palm joins us this morning, coming up at 8:30 from CBS Sports. But this game on Sunday, if you didn't know, it's father versus son. Richard has handled a ton of those questions over the last few weeks. This is an awesome game. And Richard Pitino has talked about how he wanted this game from a resume standpoint, but it's also one you have to give the fans. Like, you got to do it. And I think he understands it. He's trying to keep it as much about basketball as possible, but he knows all of us. I'd be talking about father versus son, the Hall of Fame coach that is Rick Pitino, who, by the way, has so many schools clamoring for Rick Pitino. Louisville won their first game of the season last night, beating Western Kentucky. Louisville, even with all the ish that has gone down with Rick Pitino, there are so many fans screaming for him to come back. And save that program. Rick Pitino is doing a fantastic job at Iona, and he has programs screaming his name. But it doesn't matter. It's about Sunday. It's Lobos. It's Iona. And Rick Pitino is very savvy on social media. He does a good job putting some fun stuff out there. But the big thing is what happens if the Lobos win this game? What happens in the handshake line in a sold-out pit, which what it should be? I just lost the quote. But anyway, I will find that quote for you. I'm just trying to build this up and be the big time take.
I know what's going to happen.
What do you feel about this matchup? Lobos, Gales, father son on Sunday.
It's all about the grandkids. That's what it's about. Rick Sr. understands that he wants to see the grandkids, so he's going to be on his best behavior. Now, Junior can get a little bit out of line, and Dad will remind him who the boss is. But at the end of the day, it's about the grandkids. Granddad wants to be able to see the grandkids, and he wants to be around the grandkids. And that's what this whole father-son matchup, you could call it whatever you want, it just gives Granddad more time with the grandkids. And Pitino, as long as he has that, despite what the score is, he wins. Pitino Sr. wins despite the score. Whether he wins or loses, he wins
the
because he gets
grandkids
to
are
see
nice
the grandkids.
and all, but this is big time. Now, Richard Pitino was joking after the last game that, hey, what does it matter? Like, if I beat my dad, so what? He has 800 some odd victories. Well, it matters because the Lobos moved to 11-0. They keep creeping up in the AP poll receiving votes, and fans love that stuff. They keep climbing in the Ken Palm rankings. They keep climbing in the net rankings. And Rick Pitino said, quote, "Look, they're going to have a sold-out pit. The altitude's tough. We're traveling on our way to Hawaii. But to be perfectly honest, I'd rather die than lose."
This is senior or junior?
That is Rick Pitino Sr. Said, quote, "I'd rather die than lose." He then pointed out
that's
that
the smoke screen.
Yeah,
That's
he
the
then
smoke
pointed out
screen.
he's beaten Richard twice, but if he should upset us, he's going to get the biggest blow-by handshake he's ever gotten in his life.
There's no way Rick Sr. gives his junior a blow-by handshake if he wants to see those kids at Christmas, or at not Christmas, but anytime in the future, in summer or what have you, because it's all about the grandkids. You can say whatever you want. Rick Sr. is going to be on his best behavior because Mama is watching, and it's about the grandkids. And now, he may say it's hard for him to lose to his son, but at the end of the day, he's going to have a big old smile on his face because he's going to see his grandkids in the stands, and he's going to say, hey, despite what happened, the blow-by handshake, the competitiveness, all that nonsense goes out the window when he looks at those grandkids. So I think it's just a smokescreen by Rick Sr. I think Junior. I think Junior is more stressed because he needs this win, but I do think he's trying to soften up. You're right. He's trying to soften up his son, but he could care less if this team wins as long as he gets to hold those grandkids at the end of the game. And anybody can call in and say whatever they want about, hey, he's competitive. He's got 800-something wins. He's got national championships. He's coached in the NBA. That's his son. He taught him everything he knows, yada, 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 yada. It's all about the grandkids. Forget about anything else. Rick Sr., he won't even probably look at his son. He'll be looking for where the grandkids are right when the game is over with.
And so, in this matchup too, Rick Pitino, he's, like I said, he's savvy, funny on the Twitter. Like he handles the Twitter well. Isabel Gonzalez, who, shout out to Izzy, she writes for CBS Sports now. Man, we went to journalism school together. She's doing great stuff.
That's
She's
awesome.
A college basketball, women's basketball writer for CBS Sports, based here in Albuquerque. She had a one-on-one interview with Richard Pitino that's posted up on CBS Sports, and there's a clip of it where Richard Pitino is joking that he would be talking trash too if he was his dad's age and had that resume. And then Rick Pitino quote tweeted that little video clip that Isabel put out there and said, "Let's get something straight with New Mexico media. Neither me nor Iona trash talk. We have a PhD. We are passionate, hungry, and driven. I root for the Lobos every game. We're just a small Catholic school trying to get a break in life."
Yeah, he's got some players there now. And NIL deals, he's doing it. He's probably taught Richard the business of how to get players as far as that's concerned. But I think it's just great. I think it's wonderful for the fans. I think, Senior has been to the pit. He's been here before. So he's been around and he understands what's happening here and how things are going and how his son is doing with the program. But at the end of the day, he's gonna sell tickets for his son. He's helping his son sell tickets by saying that, hey, he may get a blow-by handshake, and I can't see myself losing to my son, and this is just one of the biggest games of my life, and yada 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 yada. Where are the grandkids? Let me go hug my grandkids. That's what it's gonna be about. At the end of the day, how many points
he
they
keep
score,
talking.
who
The
scores,
grandkids
who
are nice
wins.
and all.
Forget about that.
The grandkids are nice, and that will make it easier if the Lobos do beat Iona on Sunday. But there is a good rivalry because Richard is hungry in this. He is respectful. His dad is one of his idols. He said that he believes that his dad is one of the 3 best coaches ever in the game of college basketball.
Right.
Now the source might be a little biased with that opinion, but
Richard's good in his own right. I mean, the young Richard Pitino, I've been impressed. I like watching practices because I get a better feel for the coaches, just based on their style and how they get after the kids and how they manage the kids. And that's what I talk about with even pro coaches. You watch and see how they manage the players. And I like young Richard Pitino. I mean, as far as how he manages the intensity, a little bit like Bradbury. Bradbury, the women's basketball coach, a little intensity. I like that. I like them when they get after him a little bit. They nowadays you got to play it politically correct sometimes. But I like those old school guys who slip into, hey, we're just going to get after them in practice, and you're going to have to be tough. And I see a little bit of that in Richard. I think he got it from his dad, where he gets after those guys. I mean, he makes them practice hard. He understands exactly what he wants to do. He's confident in what he's teaching and those kind of things. And so it's really fun to watch him practice. So I can imagine how intense the dad is just watching Junior coach our Lobos up. But at the end of the day, as intense as they are, I think that the senior will be a little less intense than Junior during this game, because he'll be peeking over at the grandkids most of the time. So that's how I'm feeling. That's, having a dad who has grandkids, they really, really love the fact that they have these grandkids. And I think despite the intensity of college basketball, I think Rick Sr. will lose himself because he knows the grandkids are there.
I have a slight comment.
What's up, Bob?
What? Yeah. So Senior has taught Junior, correct? So he's the teacher, right?
Yeah.
The greatest compliment a teacher has is when the student surpasses the teacher.
Amen.
And we could see at least a step in that direction on Sunday at the Pit, Iona and New Mexico. How are you feeling about this matchup, Lobo fans? It's going to be one of the best atmospheres we've seen at the Pit in a very long time. Lobos 10-0 on the season. I don't know. They're 7-2. They got a good basketball team coming in. I got another quote I'll drop on you on the other side from Rick Pitino ahead of this matchup. Also, take a look at what's going on where Ned is in Los Angeles with UCLA, UCLA. The decision was made yesterday on if they can leave to go join the Big Ten in a couple seasons. And also, stay tuned because I'll tell you at the end of the next segment how you can win the first all-in autograph prize this morning. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell is sorry for going too far with its past breakfast.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot.
Lobos Iona Sunday at the Pit. Rick Pitino versus Richard Pitino. Lobos trying to improve to 11-0 on the season. Iona comes in 7-2. They beat Princeton the other night. A lot of talk between Rick and Richard Pitino. 4:30 tip-off. Of course, you can hear the game also over on News Radio, KKOB, UNM Sports Radio Network. Opening drive this morning, JJ Buck with our quarterback, Ned James. Bobcat holding it down here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. So one more from Rick Pitino on his son. And yes, Richard Pitino had a fantastic opportunity because his dad was Rick Pitino. But Rick said, quote, I didn't want him to feel 1 ounce of being entitled. He was working 14, 15-hour days when he was in college at Providence, and he became a high school coach. Then he became a GA. He didn't have the normal fun of college, going out, drinking beer. He was coaching. So I'm very, very proud of him. I love him to death. But he knows he's not coaching against me. He's coaching against Iona. And he knows how much I want to win, and even more so how much I hate to lose. I think what we've seen out of Richard Pitino in his time at Minnesota, and especially here 2 years at the University of New Mexico, is he is always going to be Rick Pitino's son, but he is carving out his own lane in college basketball.
Yeah, he's a good coach. I mean, I can believe what Rick Sr. was saying about putting him to work and making sure he earned it and that he wasn't entitled. And I see that when I go and watch practice, because you know, watching the games, that's the result of practice. But just the intensity and the fact that, you know, they practice hard, and I like seeing that. I guess I'm just old school that way. But I'm going to give Rick Jr. some advice. Use the kids, man. Use the grandkids as props. Put them up. You know, have them wave their daddy, granddaddy, we love you during the game. So it distracts Rick Sr. from concentrating, because that's going to be the effect. Because I think at the end of the day, they're both competitors. They're both, you know, like you said, the dad's a phenomenal, you know, Hall of Fame coach, and so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding for Rick Jr. I'm sure Dad knows all the tricks of the trade, but at the end of the day, it's family. I'm sure they love each other. I mean, they're going to compete, but at the same time, I think this Lobo team is slightly better than Iona. I know they were going to both be nervous. Is this the first time they've ever played against each other?
No, this will not be the first meeting between.
This is not the first meeting. So they this is something they've done before. So the strategy is different. I think the pressure is not there like it probably was at some point, and so now it's just gamesmanship. And I'm telling Rick Jr. since he's done this before, use the kids. Use the kids. Granddad's not gonna be as hard. He may be harder. It's the old saying in coaching, when you're coaching other people's kids, treat them like your kids, not your grandkids. You're tougher on them when they're your kids, but when they're your grandkids, you're not as tough. So it's a lot of times coaches will say that to coaches when the head coach is maybe hard on a kid. And you would say, hey, I want you to coach that kid harder. I want you to coach them like your kids, not your grandkids. So I think this will be an interesting and fun game. I think it's going to be fun for those two. I mean, they get to spend quality family time together. But I do think Rick Jr. has the advantage. And my advice to him is to use the kids against Dad.
505-246-0610, the 377 Brew hotline and text line this morning. And Ned, you're joining us from Los Angeles. You're back hanging out with your family, spending some time with us. Yesterday, it was announced that UCLA can officially move to the Big Ten after receiving approval from the University of California Regents on Wednesday. So UCLA, USC, future Big Ten members, that is going to happen. But on their way out, UCLA is going to have to increase their investment in student-athlete resources, which makes a ton of sense. But they're going to have to pay California money to leave.
Berkeley.
Cal Berkeley money. The University of California money to leave. This is like a divorce where they have to send a monthly check
it's a lawsuit,
to Cal, and it could be between $2 and $10 million once a Pac-12 media deal is secured. And we know the money that they've talked about in the Big Ten deal is outrageous. But what's the feeling around there with UCLA bouncing and then having to pay Cal money to go to the Big Ten?
Well, there's mixed feelings in California because people wanted to see, the traditional rivalries. There's a lot of Berkeley people here, a lot of Stanford people here in Southern California, and they always enjoyed being able to go out and watch their alma mater play here on the West Coast, play here in Southern California, I should say. And so it's kind of bittersweet, but at the same time, it's not much money in UCLA's coffers for them
nice
to pay
to say
this.
that.
Yeah,
$2 million, no big deal.
That's the they're going to be paying that. They're going to be paying that for players.
They're going to be paying that for their next starting quarterback.
Yeah. So when that salary cap hits from the Big Ten, they're going to be paying some money. But anyway, there's mixed emotions. People miss the traditions of the old Pac-12 or Pac-10 and some of these games that were played down here. One of my fondest memories was going to the USC Stanford game and watching Elway. And I never seen a guy throw a ball the way Elway could throw a football back when he was at Stanford. And even though I was an SC fan and SC won the game, I was a big John Elway fan from high school. And to get to watch him and those schools like Stanford come down and play, particularly with guys who were from the Southern California area, is going to be sorely missed by a lot of people. And you're going to get these teams from the Midwest coming into town.
Rutgers and Northwestern come to town to face USC and UCLA.
Yawners. But people will be traveling across country. These are like professional athletes.
This will be a holiday. Are you kidding me for the Big Ten fans?
Oh yeah, well, coming out of the weather. Yeah, the weather. I keep forgetting about the weather. Yes. At UCLA, I've always thought, if you can't recruit, you should be able to get the best athletes, aside from having to pay them, from around the country to come to UCLA because it's 10 minutes from the beach. It's in Beverly Hills. It's in Westwood, which is probably one of the top 5 college towns in America. It's 75 degrees and slight breeze year-round. I don't know of a better place in the world than being in Westwood to go to college. and it's one of the safest places. It's not like SC where they drive them. They take an alternative route, so they don't have to go through South Central LA to get to the campus at USC. All the guys at USC hang out in Westwood, so it's just one of the most beautiful campuses and college campuses in the country. So it should be recruiting should not be a problem ever there. It's just that now these guys are going to be flying and playing out in the Midwest and on the East Coast, and I don't know how student athletes, so to speak, are going to handle that challenge. So it'll be interesting to see.
Even a charter, man, that's a day. That's a full day trip going from LA all the way to the East Coast. 505-246-0610. Rudy, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Rudy? You with us, Rudy? Try us back. 505-246-0610. All right, it's time for All In Autographs. We're going to start with the $25 gift card to All In Autographs, hooking you up this holiday season. One of the winners this week will be eligible for a $100 gift card when it's all said and done to All In Autographs. Great shop, tons of awesome memorabilia, not just sports. They got music stuff. They got you covered for whatever your interest may be, whether you want to add something to your collection or maybe pass it along as a holiday gift. $25 gift card. So here is the question. The 2016 New Mexico Bowl. Lobos beat UTSA 23-20. What was the quarterback duo for the Lobos? It's one of my favorite combinations. I think it's still an underrated duo when you look at the last decade of Lobo football because of how many downs there have been. The quarterback duo that helped the Lobos win the 2016 New Mexico Bowl over UTSA. Just name the two quarterbacks. That's all you got to do. And you get yourself a $25 gift certificate to All In Autographs. 505-246-0610. Just tell Bob the name of the two quarterbacks. 505-246-0610. We come back on the other side. We'll talk with Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, about all the coaching news. UCLA, USC going, it's official, and bowl season starts tomorrow. Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, coming up next. But your calls right now, 505-246-0610, the quarterback duo that won the 2016 New Mexico Bowl, and you get yourself a $25 gift certificate to All In Autographs. Got to make it work just a little bit. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask. Well, Burt.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's three is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big three! Carried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is. Look at
how quick this shot. They got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition squeeze up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Holmesburg. Picture perfect execution. Ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
is stolen away by Montoya. Spartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
A.J. Rivera with... I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Sports Animal.
So y'all really didn't want any part of guessing Lamar Jordan not snap docket. That was a quarterback duo that won the New Mexico Bowl. in 2016, 23-20 UNM over UTSA. I guess I'll give you an easier one next hour for the all-in autograph giveaway, but shout out to Simon for guessing that. I love that deal. Watching Lamar and Austin play, Lamar the runner, Austin Apodaca the passer, it worked out. It was a fun season for Lobo football. We're getting ready for this year's New Mexico Bowl. Saturday night, prime time, ABC 5:30. It's BYU, it's SMU. The over, probably a lot of people going to be on that with the explosive offenses. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. The JJ Bucket joined by our quarterback, Ned James. So he's got the #1 team in college basketball in the rankings, a new head football coach that promises points and defensive chaos. And he is Jerry Palm from CBS Sports joining us on the opening drive. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. A lot of news this week, and here locally, we're talking about a local Zach Arnett, who, in just the wildest circumstances, it's got to feel surreal. He's a new head coach at Mississippi State, but because Mike Leach passed away.
Yeah, it's it's kind of a shock to all of us because he's still pretty young, 61, when he passed away. So it just caught us all by surprise. But college football lost a guy who was not just a pioneer, but really, I guess, a character, is how people like to refer to him. But he was a guy who would always say whatever was on his mind. And just he never held back. You didn't always agree with him, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter to him. He was always going to be who he was. He was really an interesting guy, a guy who went to law school, got a degree, but never practiced law. But what that tells you about him, though, is he must be pretty smart because getting through law school is not easy. Anyways, he was really just a unique person and really an authentic person, and just one that I know we're going to miss because he brought not just innovation to college football, but colorful character as well.
And the Mississippi State players too this week, they said that they're 100% behind playing in their bowl game against Illinois.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that would have been the opposite. Leach would have, probably come back to say, no, you're not doing that. We are playing. It's gone the other way. That's certainly the best way to honor him is to go out and compete and try to get a win in his honor.
And when you look at Mississippi State now with Zach Arnett at the helm, what kind of job is that with just the expectations and what they've been able to accomplish?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And, of course, the school didn't have a lot of choice, really. And obviously they feel comfortable with him or they wouldn't have done this. They would have taken time to go out and find somebody. But, he's obviously a guy that they trust. But, it's his first job, I'm pretty sure, at least at this level. You don't know what you're going to get with first-time coaches necessarily. But obviously the players know him, and they probably trust him. Certainly the defensive guys do because they interact with him on a day-to-day basis. So I'm sure he's a guy who deserves a shot, and we'll see what they can do. But the expectations at Mississippi State, look who you compete with every year. It's really hard. And Leach did a great job to get this team to, 8 or 9 wins every year. And so, he's got his hands full. He's got competition in his own state with Lane Kiffin. You've got Nick Saban. You've got Georgia and Tennessee in the other division. You've got LSU building. It's always very competitive in the SEC. And he's going to have his work cut out for him to maintain the standard that they've been at.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, joining us in the opening drive. You mentioned the timing of it all as all these other schools out there ahead in the coaching hiring process. We just watched Army versus Navy. Are you surprised that Navy fired Ken Niumatalolo?
No, I kind of expected it. He had done a great job at Navy. The last few years had not been going well. It's hard to say really why, because coaching a service academy is different than any other coaching job. And not just because they all run the option offense. It's because, they do that because that's what gives them the best chance to win with good athletes. I mean, let's face it, if you're in a service academy, you're a pretty good athlete, but you're not getting elite football player type athlete at the service academy, and yet you still have to compete. And Navy's competing in the American Conference, whereas the other two are, the Air Force is in the Mountain West, and of course Army's an independent. But it's, you have to really be, a coach that's very good at getting the most out of a limited talent pool to compete in places like a service academy. And he has done that for probably 10 years or so. The last few years hasn't been able to do that. And so I think they just felt it was time for a new voice in the locker room. And that's probably true.
Jerry, we saw UNLV. They go out and they hire Barry Odom, the DC at Arkansas. And the news is he's going to bring in Bobby Petrino as his offensive coordinator. That's the story right now. Barrett Steele, 32 minutes ago on CBS Sports. What do you make of that move for UNLV and then Bobby Petrino coming back?
Well, he's always been a good offensive mind. Maybe if he's not in charge of the entire team, it'll be all right. Did they coach together at Arkansas? Or no?
Probably.
When he was the head coach?
They probably crossed, yeah.
Yeah. I think that, he's a good offensive mind. And you knew somebody was going to give him another chance. And giving him another chance as a coordinator is a lot different than giving him the keys to a whole program. So I guess we'll see what he does with this chance. But he's a good offensive coach, so in that sense, it's not a bad move.
Hey, Jerry, this is Ned James. Can you help me out with the NILs? I'm trying to get the salary caps for men's basketball and men's football, SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, Big 12. Are we looking at, even though these rules are based off of state laws, are we looking at guys getting $10,000 to $20,000 a month at all these institutions, these basketball and football players? Is there going to be some sort of a scale, or are we just seeing it's just a free enterprise and it's just everybody's just having at it? Texas, California, and New York got the most money. They should always win because they should be able to. That Texas oil money, California money, and New York Wall Street money should trump all the other monies in all the other states. I just don't understand how we're going to keep track of this. Is there a way, or are there anybody keeping track of this? Are there agents and lawyers involved? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, well, really the organization that should be tracking this is the NCAA, but they're pretty toothless right now. So they're not doing anything. So it's basically free market economy right now when it comes to that sort of thing. There may be limitations, but there's nobody to enforce them. You can give players whatever you want, but you have to understand that, if you're doing that, okay, so you're going to give somebody, what'd you say, $10,000 a month?
Right, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so that's probably not everybody. That may be the star players are getting that kind of money. But you've also got, you remember the old axiom of the $100 handshake? Well, now that's legal, right? But
now it's taxed. That's the only difference. It's taxed now. It wasn't taxed before because these kids got to make sure they have accountants on hand, lawyers on hand, agents on hand to negotiate these deals. I don't know how to do it.
These kids can get money now, but that money has to come through a mechanism at the school. Okay, so the school still is tracking it and is supposed to be the ones that are managing that. So if somebody wants to say, I want to give Aiden O'Connell $1,000 to hawk cars for me, you have to go through the school to do that. You don't go directly to Aiden O'Connell to do that. And that's the Purdue quarterback for your audience who doesn't know who that is. So that there is still a process that has to be followed, but there aren't really limits on that process other than you have to go to the school, and the school has to account for it.
And the school has a salary cap guy who's keeping track of these monies. You have to have someone who's keeping track of this money if it's going through the school.
All of these schools have these collectives that work with the school. The collectives are private. They're not a piece of the school, but they work with the school to funnel the money, and they're probably the ones keeping track. But the school definitely has to be in touch and in the loop on that, because they're ultimately the ones responsible for tracking all of it. But there aren't limits that I'm aware of. You can raise as much money as you want. You can pay it out any way you want. I guess you have to be careful of Title IX, probably, but it's pretty much free market economy at the moment.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports. All right, Jerry, we'll let you out of here on this one. We got a big weekend here in Albuquerque. Of course, New Mexico Bowl, SMU, BYU Saturday night. But Rick and Richard Pitino on Sunday is a really good basketball storyline early in the season.
Yeah, and actually a pretty good game, because Mexico's got a pretty good team. Still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or did they get beat?
Yeah, they're 10-0, beat San Francisco Monday night.
Yeah. So, pretty good team. And Iona is a pretty good team. So it's not just, the coaches. I mean, that's obviously, people are going to talk a lot about that, but it's actually a good game and probably an important game, more so for New Mexico in terms of trying to be an at-large team in the NCAA tournament. See, that's not going to be a quadrant one win, especially because you're playing in New Mexico, but it's going to be a good win. And so it's an important game for New Mexico in terms of, continuing to build what they hope to have as an at-large quality profile as they get through to the end of the season.
Jerry, always appreciate the time. Enjoy the weekend as bowl season is underway, and we'll talk with you next week.
All right, thanks.
Jerry Palm at CBSSports.com with us this morning. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Some banks can make it complicated to
Thank
redeem
the following
credit card
sponsors
rewards.
for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
5.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Bobby Petrino, the new offensive coordinator at UNLV. You remember Bobby Petrino?
Yes, I do.
The Bobby Petrino story is wild. He was the head coach at Louisville on January 7th, 2007, less than 6 months after signing a 10-year contract extension. Bobby Petrino accepted the head coaching position of the Atlanta Falcons. He goes to the Atlanta Falcons. He was brought in on a 5-year, $24 million contract. He was going to take Michael Vick to the next level. He was going to develop Mike Vick into a complete quarterback. Well, Mike Vick got caught up in the illegal dogfighting operation.
Yeah.
And he was no longer the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. So Bobby Petrino ends up starting with a 3-10 record with the Atlanta Falcons. And then, less than 24 hours after personally promising owner Arthur Blank that he was staying with the Atlanta Falcons, Petrino informed his players of his departure via a 4-sentence laminated note left at the locker of each player that he was leaving the organization to accept the head coaching position at Arkansas. Petrino's 13-game tenure is tied for the 4th shortest coaching tenure in NFL history after Lou Holtz and Urban Meyer. And this story does not stop there. If you don't know these brand new
No, it doesn't.
We'll finish this story. We'll ask what direction UNLV is going in Mountain West football. They started so good, finished poorly. Marcus Royal out, and Bobby Petrino is your new offensive coordinator. Ned James, JJ Buck, Bobcat It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'm Taylor Deshawn.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
The coaching carousel turns, and UNLV has a figure coming in to be their new offensive coordinator. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Quarterback Ned James up right early from Los Angeles. Appreciate the time from Ned James. Let's continue this Bobby Petrino story. So he's at Louisville, signs a 10-year contract extension, less than 6 years. 6 months. 6 months after that, he takes the Falcons job. Mike Vick gets caught up in the dogfighting ring. Mike Vick goes to jail. The Falcons start 3-10. He pieces out with a letter to the team. He leaves in the locker room. He takes the Arkansas job. And then in April of 2012, he is involved in a motorcycle crash on Highway 16. He was riding with former Arkansas All-SEC volleyball player Jessica Dorrell, whom he had hired on March 28th as a student-athlete development coordinator. It gets all messy with Bobby Petrino. He's trying to say, I'm sorry, this and that. He's out. He gets hired by Western Kentucky to be their new head coach. Returns to Louisville. He's been at Missouri State since 2020. And now he's the new offensive coordinator at UNLV under Barry Odom. Not many stories like Bobby Petrino.
You only think cats have 9 lives, but there are some human beings that have 9 lives, and he's one of them. Petrino, known Petrino since the late 80s. Long time. He's been around this sport a long time. It just goes to show you that these guys that are in this business will take care of themselves and take care of their buddies. If you can coach, they're going to try to keep you around as long as they can. The universities are now enterprises, which I always thought they were. And so this is what you get. I mean, you're going to get guys who are, obviously for all intent and purposes, you know these guys, you wouldn't want to have them around your children, but yet and still they're getting coaching jobs to work with young people. And Petrino, I mean, not to judge, but to judge, he's gotten plenty of opportunities. His reputation precedes him. He has not apologized in any way, I believe, sufficient enough to warrant him getting these opportunities, but he's able to coach. So he's able to do a good job coaching. And so he's going to get his buddies and people that he's known to stand up for him. With no repercussions other than, he's just going to be coordinator. He's made enough money. He's done a good enough job every place he's been. So he's going to get these opportunities that a lot of people are looking for. He's fortunate in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I think these guys who, say that there isn't a good old boy network, this is a glaring example of that.
We know there is. It's who you know. It's the business of life at times. 505-246-0610. That's the 377 Brewery Hotline. I had the chance to catch up with Jimmy Phillips Jr., linebacker from SMU. Teams on the ground, Mustangs, Cougars, Saturday night at 5:30 at that University Stadium. I know you're busy, but what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. I was just driving in, and I got my nephew working, and I'm like, I forgot to. You want to eat? You got to eat. We just pulled up to Blake so we can go get a burrito. I'm not like. This was kind of nice this morning. We've had 2 fires this morning, but the GM did send up breakfast, so I did have an omelet and bacon and coffee, which was really nice. So thank you to Damon over at the Sheraton for sending up some breakfast this morning. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Just rolling along, talking coaches, life, the weekend ahead.
Yeah, I didn't hear the Petrino thing. That's kind of crazy. Now, just listen to Ned talk about it. I don't know that I knew that.
It just came down this morning. It's reports that he's
All right,
going to be
that's
the
a good
OC
football hire.
at
I mean,
UNLV.
Yeah. I mean, as far as whatever the human being is, but I mean, he's right, Ned. I mean, he's a pretty proven football guy, isn't he?
Oh, I've known him since the late '80s. He's always been a great football coach. He's been a coach of the Arizona State days.
Yeah, it's just what are you getting with it? No, that's crazy. All right, I did that one. That one I didn't know. That's interesting. All right, yeah, we had teams on the ground yesterday. JJ, did you read Jeff Grammer's story by any chance?
Yeah. So what was the usual landing spot not available? You guys are running around on the tarmac. That was wild.
Oh my goodness, man! I've done a lot of things in 17 years. Add a new chapter to it. Yeah, BYU's first plane came in at the regular place at Qatar Aviation, where you guys probably fly out on your charters, and SMU was going to come in at a half hour later, right across the street at Atlantic, and everything was good. We had the band. So BYU's got their first plane. They come in. We did great greeting. Everything that's on schedule. Their second plane's coming in for a landing, and then it takes off because there was a UPS plane on the runway, so they had to go back up and circle. So that took about 20 minutes. Well, meanwhile, we get word, and the only reason we knew this is our video guy was over at the other place, that the plane that SMU was in is too big to go on that tarmac or go to that place. And they're not going to let us go. It was one of these gong show things. So literally, as BYU's second plane was coming up, they're like, SMU's on the ground, you got to go now. And we went across the way, had people in cars. I was out directing traffic. You get out of this car, you get out of this car. We had a couple people. Grammer was one of them in the in a vehicle from the security vehicle. We had our 15-seat van. We had people from the mariachi band stuffed in the back, board members crammed in the back. It was Keystone Cops, comical, ridiculous. A couple of cars running out with the Herrera buses to beat the team, and then we got there and watched them. They couldn't figure out how to put the gate stairs up there, the rolling stairs. And I went up the stairs and knocked on the door, and then they opened the door, and then we had a grease. They didn't know the difference. But man, it was comedy. Like what are we doing? And just work all year and be flexible, boys, because you got live events going on. It was something I've never dealt with before. I'm glad we did it.
Well, it's good that you have that experience now. You know what it takes to run around on the tarmac at an airport. But man,
we were going to jump in the Herrera coaches, right, in the team buses, and can we get in the team buses and go down there? Okay, it's a mile down, but how are we getting back? Because then the buses are going to be loaded up, and it was really cold. So yeah, it was stupid. It was cool.
Oh, I don't miss those days, boy. Traveling in the buses and organizing and bands, and it's always something. I've had an adventure like that.
Hey, Ned, do you know Andre Reed at all? Did you ever work with him?
The Buffalo Bills player?
Correct.
No, I do not know him.
Okay. Yeah, we got him coming in this morning. Talked to him. We had a little flight adjustment on him this morning, but he's coming in to be the speaker tomorrow.
Oh,
you might have run across him somewhere. Yeah.
I'm a Marv Levy fan, so I like Andre.
So is he. Yeah, so is he. All right. Well, I just want to check in, boys. Go do your thing. Sorry to interrupt. I know you got something going, but
not interrupting at all.
And want to say hello.
Not interrupting at all. Just talking to coaches. Busy weekend, so we'll have some fun. Looking forward to Saturday, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of Mike Leach talk last night. I spent some time with Kalani Sitake, and then quite a bit of time with Rhett Lashley, the SMU coach, and everybody, as Ned, as you know, in this business is 2 degrees away from everybody, and so he's got guys on his staff who worked with Mike, and a lot of Mike came out last night. It was we were up in that hospitality suite. It was kind of, I don't know, that eerie, cool, like it was sad but therapeutic. You know what I mean? There was a lot of that last night. So yeah, good people, man. I'll tell you this though, they're happy to be here. So hopefully we put on a show for them.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to it, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. See you Saturday.
All right, boys. Enjoy the day. Have fun.
Yes, have fun. You too. Have fun.
The man himself, Jeff Symbieta, rolling along. Teams on the ground. They're going through the gift suites. Some player gifts yesterday. I think they'll probably have a night out tonight. Do some stuff, going around town. Usually fun stuff for the teams, whether it's main event or something along those lines have the luncheon tomorrow. Guest speaker Andre Reed. Pep rally usually goes on Old Town Friday afternoon, then game day on Saturday.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Andre Reed, interesting speaker. I don't know him very well, but I've met Marv Levy before, and boy, anybody who's played for Marv Levy, a lot of those guys, they all have just great things to say about Marv Levy. What a lot of people don't know is Marv Levy, 4-time Super Bowl coach, did not win all 4 of those times, but very, very good football coach. But he also coached at the University of New Mexico, and so he's one of the first. It was interesting talking to him one time at a Senior Bowl event in Mobile, Alabama, and just his fondness for Albuquerque and New Mexico. It was just great to hear him talk, say good things about him, because I had known that he had coached here, and I was going up in an elevator with him and said, yeah, I played at the University of New Mexico. I was coaching with the Seattle Seahawks at the time. And he just held me on the elevator just to talk about how fond he remembered New Mexico and how he missed being in the land of enchantment, he called it. And it's just great that I'm sure Andre Reed will give some Marv Levy stories at his speech during the luncheon tomorrow for the New Mexico Bowl.
505-246-0610. That is the 377 Brewery hotline. This morning, we've been getting the table set for Sunday. Rick Pitino, some great quotes this week talking about Rick versus Richard, but the game itself should be fantastic. Lobos looking to move to 11-0. This will be a quality game. As you mentioned, heard Jerry Palm, CBS Sports. It's not a quad one game. It's a home game for the Lobos versus Iona. Good team, not great numbers right now, but it could be a solid resume game just when you're looking at filling the pieces on the schedule, what it could mean on Sunday. But we come back on the other side. Thursday Night Football, Week 15 is here. Playoff-like atmospheres already. Teams fighting for a playoff spot. Can the Seahawks bounce back, or is Brock Purdy the real deal? It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Your home for the NFL and the ABQ is the
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudal with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fights 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up in 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Kongsberg.
Picture perfect execution. Ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and
good things usually have. Oh, great.
Oh, A.J. Rivera. I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Kalb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Kalb puts it down. Brian Kalb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
And they tell you it's a different way, my goodness. Trying to change a flight during a commercial break of a radio show, it ain't easy. When you think that the basketball team, they told you, oh, the flight's Monday morning. And then you get the itinerary, they're like, oh no, we're leaving Sunday morning. What now?
That sounds like live radio.
It is like live radio. But the terror that came through me, Ned, when I found out that women's basketball is leaving Sunday morning, and they had initially told me to book my flight for Monday morning. Just almost sent me over the top there for a second. Had to change a flight during the commercial break.
Hey, multitask. The more you can do.
Oof,
That's why they hired you, JJ, because you're
goodness gracious.
You keep your knees bent and your head on a swivel.
Women's basketball in Tampa for the Suncoast Classic. Tuesday and Wednesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time tip-offs. Old Dominion Tuesday, Mississippi State on Wednesday. So some big-time basketball for the UNM women coming off their victory over New Mexico State last Sunday. Versus the men got Iona this weekend. 4:30 tip-off at the Pit. Woo! Let's go. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Thursday night football, San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle coming off losing to the Carolina Panthers. They could not stop the run game, Ned. Carolina did whatever they wanted on the ground last weekend. Kenneth Walker, the rookie running back from Michigan State, should be back in the lineup. That will help because we know Pete Carroll wants to run the football. Kenneth Walker's been good this season. Now, Geno Smith has played really well, but it's the Brock Purdy show. Can the rookie quarterback back it up tonight in Seattle?
We'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. Pete Carroll's at home. He's a defensive guru, and so we're going to see if the young quarterback can keep his streak alive now. He'll start settling down, coming back down to earth here. I mean, he's been playing on emotion, and he's been playing, just with his hair on fire. And people just, the expectations are so high now. He'll start settling in a little bit more, and these games are going to get tougher. You got teams that are pretty successful. Geno Smith probably didn't have one of his better games last week, but he should, bounce back this week. We'll see. They'll be on the road. It's going to be loud. It's going to be really, really tough on the young quarterback in that environment in Seattle. The weather, but he came from Ames, Iowa. I don't know if there's worse weather in America than in Ames, Iowa.
Maybe Syracuse?
At Iowa State. Possibly Syracuse, yes. But they play in a dome, so
True.
It's different.
They get
Iowa
the dome.
State,
you just
they
need
got
the
dome.
rope to get from your dorm room to the dome.
To the dome, yes.
Yeah.
There's going to be a rope. There's going to be some rope issues during that wintertime season in Syracuse. But Purdy, I'd like to see how he does. It's going to be weather. It's going to be crowd. It's going to be on the road. Should be fine. He's pretty much used to it, even though he's the Arizona kid that played in Iowa. I like San Francisco's chances because they can run the ball and they play defense. Now Debo's out, so that's going to hurt him a little bit. So we'll see how well they're able to run the ball. McCaffrey's always getting nicked up at running back. That's why I don't like small running backs. But we'll see if they can run the ball tonight. They should have some success. They've got a good, strong defense in San Francisco. So this will be a test for both teams tonight.
San Francisco, it is crazy that we're still talking about them the same way before and after the Jimmy Garoppolo injury. Now, Brock Purdy went out there. He beat Tom Brady, but he is still a quarterback just making his second career start. But there really hasn't been a lot of hesitation when we talk about the San Francisco 49ers and where we rank them as a playoff contender. How have the 49ers been able to be so successful? But I think the big thing here is Deebo Samuel's out. He's got a sprained MCL. So if you're Kyle Shanahan, do you just substitute Christian McCaffrey into all those Deebo Samuel packages? Who picks up that slack tonight?
Well, it's got to be Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's paid like a first rounder, so he's got to play like a first rounder. Sometimes you just got to tote the ball all day, and that's one of the things that we kind of fail to realize with that running back position. That's why they like to have bigger guys because they can withstand the pounding for 4 quarters. McCaffrey has kind of been a hybrid guy, hybrid receiver / running back type guy. But he's going to have to pick up some of the load. They'll have some younger players come in and spell him from time to time, but they're going to try to major with him. And so he's just going to have to produce. That's what they got him for. That's what they, were able to trade and pick him up for these kind of moments. And he's got to show some production without getting hurt. I think that's important if they're going to be able to win. And it's going to be a good test tonight because that's what San Francisco is going to try to match them with, is with the running game. They're going to pound however many running backs they have. So I'm curious to see how this game goes, how the flow of this game goes. Purdy, they're not going to put too much on his plate. He's still a young quarterback. They're still trying to keep it simple for him, but now people have a little bit more tape on him. They've seen him a couple times. They know what he likes. They know where he prefers to throw the ball from. They're going to try to take him off of those favorite spots, and we'll see how he responds.
And something that you said yesterday, Ned, when we were talking about quarterbacks, is a lot of people on the outside like to overcomplicate the position. And just because how much we talk about it, you need to have a franchise quarterback. You got to be this level of quarterback to win a championship. And I thought that was really interesting because Kurt Warner, I saw a tweet from him earlier in this week, pretty much just telling quarterbacks, calm down. Just take what's there in front of you. Some of these players are just making it too difficult. So which one is it? Is it one of the hardest positions to play in sports? Is it overanalyzed? Where does it come down? Because we're talking about the last pick in the draft, the dude making his second career start on the road in a division game in Brock Purdy, and he's a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle, and Kurt Warner makes a good point. I mean, you have to be smart. You got to be tough. You got to work hard. It's like any other job. I mean, it's no different than guys who go to work every single day. You have to, be able to go in and understand what you're trying to accomplish and not make a lot of mistakes while you're at work. It does the same at every job. I think quarterback, like they say, gets way too much credit when you win and way too much blame when you lose. Now, I think with a guy like Purdy, coming in and there's not a lot of tape on him. He hasn't adjusted quite yet to what the NFL game is. It's a different game than the college game. And so he's learning as we go here. And so he's going to get better the more he understands. But yeah, they've got to keep it simple for him. So, when it's simple, not simple in a lot of respects because it is a complicated game in a lot of ways. But if you're playing fast and you're not thinking as much and you're just, able to kind of see things big picture wise, clearer. And it happens when you're coming in there and you're new and you're just whipping the ball around. But after a while, you have to study and you start getting into which corner's playing and who I have to stay away from. And it could kind of bog your mind down a little bit. It can kind of give you a lot to handle. But Kurt Warner's right. I mean, sometimes you just got to go out and play it. I think playing in the Arena League for Kurt, I played in that Arena League now. It happens fast now. You got to get the ball out quick. These holding on to the ball and scrambling and all that. 'Cause there's not a whole lot of room. That wall comes fast. Had a broken nose, got slammed into that wall a couple times. And so it's one of those things where, the game, you just have to get into a rhythm and just flow with how the game is going. And that's why I think Kurt said what he said, and it's pretty valid what he said.
Thursday Night Football, San Francisco at Seattle, and you can hear it right here on the Sports Animal, the home for the NFL. We got 5 games for you this weekend, starting with Thursday Night Football. We have every game of the Saturday triple header, starting with Indianapolis, Minnesota, Baltimore, Cleveland, then Miami at Buffalo, and then on Sunday, you have Arizona at Denver. That could be Colt McCoy versus Brett Rippon. But football is football, y'all. They're playing for something. We got something for you, and that is an All-In Autographs mystery box. All-In Autographs hooking you up for the holidays. Some fantastic giveaways for you. The mystery box, it's a signed jersey in every single box. There are some really great ones. There are some jerseys that when you open it, you're going to be shocked. And it could be a good reaction. It could be a bad reaction. But it is fantastic what is in these mystery boxes. So the question for you right now, the 2020 New Mexico Bowl was played where? The 2020 New Mexico Bowl was played in this city. Think about that for a second. 2020 New Mexico was played in this city. 505-246-0610. First person to give Bobcat the answer, you win an All-In Autographs mystery box. It's a signed jersey in every single box that All-In Autographs is giving away, hooking you up for the holidays. So where was the 2020 New Mexico Bowl played? 505-246-0610. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
Safe to say that anybody who was worried about Josh Allen and the Bills.
Thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
About what you want to hear, it means you never addressed it because it wasn't on their schedule. And so they're upset about it.
It's your fault, JJ.
Because of 5 minutes that when you're in your car on your commute and we didn't hit that subject, it means it was never addressed whatsoever. There's audience turnover. There's 3 hours of content, but some dude is way fired up. First, he hates Jerry Palm all the time when we ask him a New Mexico question. Yeah, Jerry gives us some generic answers when it comes to the Lobos, but he has great insight into the game overall. With some really good comments on the coaches. He's like, who cares about UNLV? I don't know, everyone, because Bobby Petrino is a fascinating story.
Yes, he is.
That you have 9 lives and you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want as long as you know the right people. That's a fascinating story.
It is.
And if you listen to Jim Rome show, you know it's one of the biggest jokes on the show, Bobby Petrino and what he did. Like, this dude left index cards in an NFL locker room saying he's bouncing. Of course, we're talking about Bobby Petrino. That matters. And you know why we haven't talked about Lobo football? They're a 2-win team with no news, dude. A 2-win team with no news. What do you want us to talk about? I sit there with Ned James every single day.
I know.
Talking Lobo football. We sit there and watch the games. More than anyone out there.
Yeah.
We're not ignoring it. There's just nothing to tell you, man. What do you want to talk about? A team that's 130 out of 131 right now. They got a lot of work to do. And when Danny announces his offensive coordinator, when Danny joins us on the show next week, the day after signing day is Wednesday. So he'll be on with us Thursday morning, 9 o'clock. We'll talk about the new players coming in. We'll talk about the offense, but unfortunately, there's just nothing to talk about. And Ned James could sit here and talk for Lobo football for 3 hours.
Yes, he could.
Let him go. But we just don't have news for you right now, man. Sorry.
You're right. That's
Got
right.
nothing.
You're right. I would be going on and on about Lobo football. Don't get me started. JJ's smart. He knows not to bring it up because I would go on and on and on and on about Lobo football. But we do have other content we have to get to. And it's great that we do, and it's great that we give the audience a taste of the national.
You know what I'd be like?
sports
I'd
scene.
like to be talking about Lobo football in the bowl game right now. That would be fantastic. Instead, we're talking about how their best defensive players are in a transfer portal. In fact, they haven't been able to find a quarterback since 2016. Lamar Jordan and Austin Apodaca combined were a great quarterback because they had the running ability and the passing ability, and still one of the most underrated seasons I mean, because the bad years were so bad, how it kind of ended with Bob Davie, those back-to-back bowl seasons, don't get as much credit as they should. But that was one of my favorite combinations because Lamar Jordan was an exceptional athlete. And when they ran the option with him, they were explosive. Nasna Patak was a pretty good passer.
Yes, he was. And don't forget my favorite quarterback of all time, Terry Wilson, who I thought was really good and everybody else hated in the state of New Mexico, but I thought was a talent that we were not able to kind of win with, even though the guy was 17-6 in the SEC. We couldn't get him, and everybody thought he was a bum once he got here after his injury. But, we could go on and on. But, yes.
Is there a quarterback curse at UNM, Ned? Is that what is happening? Is somehow, some way the position cursed? It feels like that right now.
It's just tough. I mean, they've had quarterbacks here over the years that have done well, and some that just haven't been as good. And the systems keep changing, and when you have lots of turnover, it's just really difficult to kind of nail down that position when you're having so many people come in and have different philosophies on what that position should look like.
And Terry Wilson that is a big what if, because I think if Terry Wilson was in this year's team, they would have had a better outcome, because early in the season the pieces were there. The defense was playing good, the offensive line was doing well enough. Feels like if you had Terry Wilson with this squad, they could have maybe finished out that Wyoming game, finished out that UNLV game. Instead, here we are looking at a new offense coordinator, a 2-win football team, and you got me talking about Lobo football, Texter. Good job.
Yeah, and Manny Logan Green, losing him too, I think that kind of hurt a little bit. He would have been an alternative to Porter, and I think it would have helped Porter
get on the football field.
Get on the football field and give him a little bit more of an incentive. I think he thought he was the big dog. I think having a guy who'd been here a while who could kind of help him with how things went and operated here would have helped this team tremendously. If he had stayed, but he, unfortunately, he went somewhere and he's in obscurity. Maybe he made hundreds of thousands of dollars in NIL deals.
I don't think he's making $100,000 NIL deals. That 505-246-0610. Terry, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Terry?
Good morning, JJ. Good morning, Mr. James. Hope you're all doing well. With the new rules, I'll toss this in today instead of tomorrow. Hugs, thoughts. Addie, Austin, Baloo, all family members have a great weekend after the sad news of Mr. Coach Leach. We all got to enjoy everybody we have and all that. Now, since it's December and you have a lot of repeats on TV, I always go back to one of my favorite repeats. I still think Notre Dame screwed up college football. NIL money, I'm in favor of it. My son this weekend, he's a D-line coach at North Shore in Houston. I don't know if Ned's heard of them, but they're playing in the state championship in AT&T Stadium this Saturday night. So I'll be staying home watching the New Mexico Bowl on TV, and then watching them. They're going to be on, I think, Fox Sports 12, Oklahoma. But you come from down there in Houston, it's not an affluent part of town. And, if the kids, not everybody's going to get millions, but knowing there's quite a few D1 athletes, and if they can put some money into their pocket and help their families and all that, power to them. We used to have a story at KU where this one track athlete, she was trying for the Olympics, wouldn't come eat dinner with us because of the stupid rules where, you could get in trouble if some family bought you more than one dinner a year or something like that. So, yes, it's done 180, 360, whatever you want to say, the other way, and hopefully they reel it in a little bit. But, there was a kid down in Houston. Luckily, he was able to get a flight to go to some fancy quarterback camp, and good for him, and things like that. So I'm in favor for the kids getting something. The $1 million deals, I don't know if they'll go on forever. See how well it worked out for Texas A&M. So from that standpoint, but as always, now this is for the alter ego, Nate the Hate. We had to get some work done in the house, and they were doing some painting, and I was watching it. What's the saying? Watching the paint dry or watch Mac Davis play quarterback for the Patriots. I'm still a loyal Patriots fan, but sometimes it hurts to watch them play with him behind there. He's kind of like the old football game when I was young, that you would plug it into the wall and they just kind of in a circle and all that.
Larry, appreciate the phone call this morning, man. Mac Jones, the Patriots, that offense, they're 7-6, and it's playoff level football this weekend. It starts tonight, Thursday Night Football, Seattle and San Francisco. You can hear that game right here on the Sports Animal, and we got tons of takes still left on the NFL. But coming up on the other side, are you ready for the Pitino versus Pitino battle? Richard will meet the media again this morning, but Rick had a lot to say about this game, and it's just, it's juicy. It's the appetizer. It sets the table for this weekend. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Golden State Warriors are trending in the wrong direction. Steph Curry left last night's loss to the Indiana Pacers. Yes, the Pacers got the Warriors 125-119 in Indianapolis. Steph Curry left in the third quarter. He's getting an MRI on his left shoulder today. Curry was balling out, but the Warriors on the road, they're terrible. They are just 2-13 on the road, 12-2 at home. This is absolutely wild. The Golden State Warriors are trending in the wrong direction. Ned, the Warriors are looking like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season. All the talent, all the expectations, but none of the performance.
Well, Draymond keeps wanting to get thrown out of every game, so that's back to normal for them. But they're hung over a little bit from winning the championship. I just think they're, trying to, they think once they step on the court, everybody just fears them, and that they're, they could just show up and win these games. But there's people that are coming for you every night when you're the champs, and they just don't seem to have the sense of urgency. I do think that Curry, is still playing at a pretty good level. I don't think defensively they're able to kind of keep up with the trend of the guys that are slashers, those guys that I'm trying to not Draymond, not Steph Curry, the wing player. Klay Thompson. Yeah, he can't guard like he used to, and that's what's killing it, in my opinion. He really can't get, into guys that he used to be able to kind of shut down, and I think that's hurting him a little bit. I mean, they're trying to rotate more players in to help him out, but he plays a lot of minutes, and I think he kind of is slowing down a little bit, and I think that's what's hurting Golden State a lot.
Yeah, and Klay Thompson, not quite the same level of defender, coming back from big-time injuries, the Achilles, the knee, still we saw winning an NBA championship, how effective offensively he can be. And that's the problem is you want those players on the floor, but then you have Jordan Poole, who they just gave $140 million to. He's not a defensive guy. He's an offensive player. And then so who's picking up that slack? And I think that's been a big problem because you look at Steph Curry, he had 38 points late in the third quarter before he left with an injury. And it's pretty much what you're saying with Golden State. They're just going to try to outscore everyone. But when they're on the road, it ain't working. Like they're 12-2 at home, so they're still a good basketball team. But on the road, 2-13. At some point in time, we got to start waving the red flags like danger, 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 because this is the last team that wants to be playing extra playoff games, being in that play-in. Remember, 7 through 10 is the NBA play-in before the playoffs. 1 through 6, you get to the first round. 7 through 10. You got to go through those mini-series to get to the first round, and the Warriors want none of that with the amount of miles on those legs.
No, especially with the like you said, the miles on the legs, the age of the top talent on that team. You do not want to get into those playing games. That's why I think the Lakers are just doomed, and I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're fighting. The thing that Westbrook is just a terrible shooter, terrible, but the thing I do like about him is that he's available. He plays every night. And that's something that's a throwback to a time, long lost as old guys. We like to reminisce. And we kind of ruminate on the old days. Night. Yes. And so seeing Westbrook show up, I think that's why Jordan even liked him because, he's just a throwback. He just plays hard, but he's just awful shooting. So, but we'll see what happens. We haven't even gotten the first of the year and the All-Star break. When the All-Star break gets here, we're going to start seeing some of these teams who they really truly are.
It's only three and a half games from where the Warriors are at 14 and 15, which is in 10th place in the Western Conference, to the Los Angeles Clippers, who are in 6th place. So being a top 6 team is what you want to be, because you avoid having to go through that mini plane. But the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard, guess what? They're a pretty good basketball team. Speaking of availability, when Kawhi Leonard wants to show up and play basketball, they have a winning record this season. And if he can stay on the basketball court, the Western Conference is a gauntlet, because guess who's really good? The New Orleans Pelicans, with Zion Williamson available and on the court. Home runs, Brandon Ingram was part of the Anthony Davis trade. C.J. McCollum last year was a great move, because it wasn't just about being competitive in the moment, which they were, got some playoff experience. It was knowing this year you can have a guard like that with Zion Williamson. It's Pelicans, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Trailblazers. That's the biggest surprise of the NBA season so far. The Portland Trailblazers being in the 4th seed. The Phoenix, 2 sensitive Suns, and then the Clippers.
Yes, the Clippers led by Kawhi Fresh Legs Leonard, because he has the freshest legs of any player in the NBA or college basketball with a 2-year hiatus after an ACL. Now, I get the ACL thing, and you have to be careful with those coming back, but they tighten those things up nowadays with the technology and the science of how medicine handles ACLs. They're really not that big a deal if you rehab them strong. And he has rehab strong, because he looked good. He looks good in the games, but boy, he took forever to come back. So we'll see how he goes. He's got fresh legs. He doesn't play all the time. He takes off, when he feels, he's got a cold coming on, he takes off a night. And so I think, we'll see what happens to them. He only cares, it seems like he only cares about the fact if they make the playoffs, how he plays in the playoffs. But fresh legs looks like fresh legs.
It would be huge if they can get there. It's still so early in the season. You are right. So when we're talking about Anthony Davis, a Kawhi Leonard, can you make it to the end? Lakers, man, they are 2 games back of 10th. That's what we're talking about. With the Warriors and Lakers right now is play in basketball, but it's just mid-December. Drew Brees, Ned. Drew Brees, former NFL quarterback. We all know Drew Brees. He's an interim assistant coach at Purdue. He's helping the team in the transition. He wanted to help them in the Citrus Bowl. So we got interim coach Drew Brees. Yes. He also got a waiver to recruit for Purdue.
Wow. Deion has changed the game now. All these ex-players want to get into it now. And it's interesting. I think it has a lot to do with the NIL stuff. I think it's mirroring more and more like professional football in a lot of respects. And so I think these guys aren't worried so much about getting caught up in these rules, these administrative rules. And so I think this is kind of open season for these former NFL guys to stick their feet in the water here.
Ned, you need to get that waiver, and then you can do some recruiting when they're in California.
It's amazing. I talked to Heather about this because I saw some soccer players at the gym last season. It's amazing that the NIL stuff, just communicating with coaches. I haven't talked to Danny as much, but just communicating with coaches when you see talent around. I talked to some of the. I've talked to Rosheiler because I'm in that area, that Inland Empire area, with a lot of athletes, and I've seen a lot of players, and I've kind of given him some information on players, but you gotta use all your resources, and that's what these coaches have got to. And I think most head coaches do. They understand that that there's a lot of resources out there. You have to be careful of rules, but at the same time, you have to take advantage. Like this area is a hotbed, and you have to really kind of remember that there's an old coach that's hanging around there who kind of knows talent. So just give me a call, pick up the phone, and I'll let you know what I know.
You get that NCAA waiver. Yeah, you're on vacation, on holiday, but you're still working on the radio. You could be doing some recruiting.
Sure.
Time off. What is that?
What is that? Yeah, especially for sports guys, man. We love sports, and we're checking out everybody. We talk to people all the time, so it's amazing. You'd be amazed how guys wind up on college campuses based on information from whoever, these coaches trust. And, you get a guy on campus and next thing you know, the guy's a star. Like Cody Moon. I look at Cody Moon. I think there's no way this guy could be a college football player. He looks like Ichabod Crane. But he reminds me of Jack Lambert. I mean, asked him, I said, do you know who Jack Lambert is? He had no idea. I said, go ask your dad who Jack Lambert is, because you got to remind me of the little bitty stick man, plays in there with the big fellas, with the big trees, and just gets after it. So you just never know who's going to turn out to be a great player on your campus.
Thursday Night Football, Seattle and San Francisco 49ers at the Seahawks. 3-point favorites. Brock Purdy, the 49ers, and San Francisco can clinch the NFC West with a victory. That's all it takes for them tonight to clinch the NFC West. And
it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be Purdy either.
It doesn't have to be Purdy. And they're a team that down the stretch, they can go on a run with Mr. Irrelevant. They could even potentially pass Minnesota, the 2 seed. Philadelphia seems like they're in strong position, holding off everyone. The runs that are coming from Dallas, from San Francisco. But it is still wild to me how we are talking up the San Francisco 49ers. That's got to be one of the best front offices in sports right now. The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
When you just look at the acquisition of talent, the fact we're talking about a rookie quarterback, and we still have that high of an expectation for this team. It's unbelievable.
Yes. This time of year, yes, because there's going to be injuries. So to get a guy who can play at the third quarterback to play, that is a good testament to the management.
We'll have you covered, breaking it all down tomorrow morning, Thursday Night Football, and the big weekend of NFL football, Lobos, Iona, all the coverage right here on the opening drive. I want to thank Jimmy Phillips Jr., SMU's leading tackler, the linebacker, joining us this morning. Of course, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports. Ned, thank you for waking up with us. We'll talk with you tomorrow morning. Bobcat,
Yes.
Fantastic work today. Appreciate you producing. Got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd follows that. The boys, 2 men on. We'll take you up until Thursday Night Football. Everybody, Metal, peace and love. Have a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.